Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother***ing ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer Podcast. I'm Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is average Japanese businessman Dan Ryan.
I feel so bad for that dude.
Yeah,
that was a hell of a day.
Yeah, it was. It's time for the Alphabet Super Series. This month's letter was I, and I chose Incredible Crisis for PlayStation. Is it actually a good game, or is all weirdness and no fun? Bust out your sweet moves at the office dance party because the Stone Age Gamer Podcast starts now. Hi everyone, this is episode 492. It's the week of December 8th, 2023. I am still coughing and I am sorry. Apparently Evan really didn't pay attention to that last week, so I apologize to all of our listeners that had to hear me coughing incessantly. I've got a bag of cough drops next to me. I'm going to do my very level-headed best, but it's a combination of sickness and Dan got me another dog.
I did. You decided I had the dog.
It's true. Dan had the dog. He pushed him on me like a drug dealer. It was hilarious.
I did. That's what I do. That's how I do things.
No, I appear to be somewhat allergic to the dog. He's only been here for a couple of days. So it feels like dog allergies. I'm coping with it to the best of my ability, and hopefully I can power through it and keep the dog, because he's pretty freaking great. But, yeah, talking is not super easy, so it's a good thing I'm doing a podcast, huh?
That's right. Yeah, it's funny you said that. So we, Tiff and I were just looking at it because she was just before I came down to start the show, she was making a contract for another dog that's getting adopted out, and she was just kind of going back and looking through what we've done so far, and the first dog that we adopted out as Safe at Home Rescue was on November 7th of 2021. Okay. With this dog, not counting the one that you have, this other dog, Barney, that the contract was made for tonight, that makes it in, and I'm going to call it less than 2 years. Well, no, a little over 2 years. We have adopted out 140 dogs in a little over 2 years.
Well, that's pretty great.
It is. It's also, like, when you put that kind of number on it, like 140 dogs in 2 years, that sounds pretty crazy. That's like 70 dogs a year. And that sounds a little better, somehow, in my mind. That sounds like a little less. But then you say, yeah, but that's like 6 dogs a month almost. And you're like, oh, never mind. That is actually a fucking lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of dogs.
So yeah, it's a lot of fucking dogs, man. And in all that time, in the 2 years that we have been doing it by ourselves, without the No More Tears support, which is what we were working with before, out of the 140 dogs that we have adopted out, we have had 2 come back because the owners were unhappy. And that, knock on wood, fucking rub your rabbit's foot, whatever. That's a pretty good fucking track record, man. I'm pretty proud of that.
And
overall,
you should be damn proud of that. You should be damn proud of that.
I am damn proud of that. Oh, let's make that a thing. That's a thing I could do. Yeah, it's weird though, because like that's a bit of good news, right? Mm-hmm. But we did also get a bit of bad news this week, right? We've had to. It's just kind of been a thing that's been coming up recently, and we've, as a family, have decided that we have to talk to our uncle about his Viagra addiction, because it sucks because my aunt is taking it really hard. So. Mm-hmm. So we gotta talk to him about it. That was good, right? It sounded serious for a minute. and then turned into a dick joke.
Nailed it. Oh yeah,
Nailed it.
I had a little bit of not so great news this week. So Monday, I had been looking forward to Monday for quite a while now. My dentist had said that this one wisdom tooth that's been bothering me, they were going to pluck it right out on Monday. It's like, you're going to go over here, and then they're just going to be, this is not a complicated thing. We're just going to take it out today, and you're going to be good to go.
We're going to yank that fucker right out of your head.
That is absolutely not what happened. They were like, we're not doing anything.
Of course it isn't.
Not doing anything to your teeth today. This is a consultation and a consultation only. It's going to take a while for us to get this figured out. I'm like, oh, okay. So what's going on? It's like, well, we're not just taking that tooth. We're taking the rest of your wisdom teeth because they're all a problem. And here's why. And it's like, you see all this? This is not good. But this one in particular, the one that you're here for, which you should have probably gotten out when you were a teenager. I was like, he's like, I'm not trying to scold you or anything. Like, but this is the kind of thing that we would have taken out when you were a teenager. It's like, yeah, I live in America. I didn't have dental insurance.
Yeah, you fucking asshole. This is why people don't like coming to you, you prick.
I couldn't have afforded it if I tried. That's just not going to happen. Although I am slightly confused as to why the dentist that did take out my one wisdom tooth in my 20s didn't take out the one that was fucking horizontal, but whatever. I don't even remember who the guy was, so I wouldn't know how to find him.
You didn't pay him to do that one.
But, like, why wasn't it recommended? There was a horizontal tooth in my fucking mouth, and, like, that was what the orthodontist was looking at. It's like, I don't understand, like, who would have looked at what was wrong with that other tooth that they were like, nah, that one's the bigger problem than this. Because the horizontal tooth, I might lose the tooth next to it, too, because it's eroded all of the bone that's supposed to hold that other tooth in place. So once this horizontal tooth is gone, that other one might become loose, and I might need to lose that one too. I might not, and I'm really hoping I don't because I like that tooth. I use it. But it fucking sucks, man. And I'm sure it's not going to be affordable. Because we have dental insurance, but God knows what it's actually going to cover, right? We pay a ton of money for the insurance, but then you have to pay all the money on top of the insurance for all the stuff the insurance doesn't cover because insurance is a fucking scam. But
it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that we spend an obscene amount of money for medical and dental and vision, which I don't understand why those are three different things. My fucking teeth are part of me. They're really not. They're whatever. But and
then you can still somehow go to the hospital and owe $38 million when you're done.
It's fucking insane. Like, what am I paying for all the time? Like, it is an obscene amount of money to just go and pay. Like, well, we covered $60,000 of this bill. Like, oh well, that's great, but the bill's $380,000. Like, yeah, what the fuck is wrong with this country?
My aunt's neighbor. This dude Craig.
It's going to be another dick joke, isn't it?
It's not. No, I mean, I think
exactly
she hopes so at some point.
It's exactly what somebody who's telling a dick joke would say.
No, it's really not. I promise. He's a good dude. He had an aneurysm removed. So it didn't burst, like the doctor, like they caught it, because he was having like fucking weird, like hearing loss in his ear, his right ear, I meant to say. Obviously he was having hearing loss in his toes. It was fucking strange. He had to go to the doctor for it. But he was having it in his right ear. And he doesn't like work a job or do anything to where it would be like, I'm a construction worker. This is natural. I've had tinnitus my whole life, like none of that. So it was a weird thing. Went to the doctor, short story long, got x-rays. He's got the aneurysm, has to be taken out. All right. So he goes and he gets the fucking surgery. And he's got a dope ass scar now. Looks really good. And he's recovering very, very well. I was talking to him the other day, as I'm putting up my my aunt's Christmas lights, as I do on every Black Friday. And I was just, how you feeling? You recovering well, blah, blah, blah. You look good. You losing weight, whatever, adults say to each other. And he was like, yeah, he was like, I saw the bill for the treatment that I have to go in and get. He was like, I still have to go once a month to the doctor, and they do a fucking thing, and then I'm done with the fucking thing, and I have to do that for like 6 more months. And he's been doing that for a little over a year now. And he said the bill per month is $37,000 is the amount of treatment that he gets every month. Now, obviously, he's not paying that much, right? His insurance is still, like, he's very upset about how much money he is paying. But just the fact that, like, that's just a normal price that people, like, that insurance companies pay out to hospitals, and, like, just this unbelievably crooked system. $37,000 a month. And that's just a dude. That's a dude in New Jersey. You multiply that by the billions of people that are paying that kind of shit. It's fucking absurd. It's numbers that you can't even fucking, like, quantify them at that point. They're so absurd.
Abstract at that point. It's crazy.
It is. It's just ones and zeros on a computer screen. Like, none of that actually fucking exists. It's wild to me. And then, like you're saying, you know, so I pay for the insurance, and then I go to the hospital, and I still owe all this fucking money. I can't go to a doctor because I have, you know, my deductible is X amount of dollars, and my copay is $200 or $50 or even $20 is too much for people. You know, like, it's fucking wild, man. Meanwhile, if you would come over and get liquored up, I got fucking pliers. I told you I will yank those sons of bitches out. I've had mine out. I know how to do it. I was on the other end. That's how that works, right? I can't imagine it is. Yeah. Point and click. It's fine. Crunch. I got vice grips. Won't even fucking slip off. No, I don't know if we even knew each other. I had my wisdom teeth out in college, and it was like, I don't like being put under. Who does, right? There's very few people. Yes, please, more of that. But the lady, like, stuck the needle in my arm, like the IV or whatever. And she was like, all right, so this is going to make you go to sleep. You know, and then you'll wake up, and these are the things you should look out for when you wake up, yada, yada, whatever. I was like, okay, how long is this going to take to put me out? Because, like, I'm really freaked out about this. I don't like it. She said, count backwards from 100. And I think I got to 99.5. And I was just like, nah. And when I woke up, I was in the fucking recovery room at the oral surgeon or whatever. And I was laughing, hysterically, like fucking Joker laughing, whilst crying, and also smacking myself in the face because I couldn't feel it. That was my experience with the teeth removal.
Yeah, that's when I got put under for. What the hell did I got put under for? I don't remember, but apparently it was a really interesting experience. Like, I also did the count backwards from 100 thing. I have no idea how far I got, but apparently I got really silly and strange. And that's just one of those things. Like, I don't like that in general. Like, not being in complete control of what's coming out of my mouth. It's one of the many reasons I don't drink. It's just
I get
those
that.
Things. I've worked really hard to make sure that I maintain complete control over my of what I do and don't say out loud. You know,
right?
So.
Because you, and I know our listeners are going to be shocked by this, you are a horrible racist. It's why you and Ryan get along so well. You're just a fucking bigot. It's disgusting, honestly.
Fuck's sake.
If I believed that there was a heaven that I could go to, it would be the rescue that gets me there. And the fact that I am friends with your ass, with the things that you say off air. I'm still trying to bring you to the light, Kris.
Light.
No, like, it's the fucking. Sorry, all of that's not true. You're a lovely person. But like probably a little bit racist, if we're being honest. It's okay. So like I didn't like getting put under when I had the fucking wisdom teeth out. But the last time when I had my gallbladder out, that was so much worse because for the first, like, I was doing pretty okay because the whole night was such a fucking nightmare and whatever, that I was so sleep deprived by the time they came in and they're like, all right, we're going back to surgery or whatever. It wasn't until they let Tiff in to come say, like, I'll be in the room when you get out or whatever. Like, I instantly had, and this is fucking terrible, but I had the thought, I was like, fuck, I might not make it out. This is like and it's not a fucking major surgery. They do it with a robot. It's awesome. But in my mind, in that moment, they had given me the shit already, and I was like, fuck, I'm never going to wake up. I'm never going to see my kid. And I got so fucking scared instantly, and I don't remember any of it. Like, I know that I was scared, but I don't remember the feeling. But Tiff won't even talk about it. She's like, you were so fucking crazy in that moment. And I was like, man, the laughing, crying, and hitting myself was way better than the fucking, I'm not going to make it back out, tell the girls I love them. Like, what the fuck, man? Why do we do this to ourselves? It's absurd. Know.
Well, I do know this. So they're aiming to do this dental surgery before the end of the year. It might not happen before the end of the year. But they're going to hope to theoretically get it scheduled, which is to say that, like, he asked what I do for a living, and I was like, I talk about video games. And it's like, well, you're not going to be talking for a couple of days. So
certainly not podcast length.
Yeah.
You'll basically just be yelling woman soup.
We're going to need
which I'm sure will go well.
Find you a sit-in co-host for an episode. So
that's so fucking weird. I was just talking to Tiff about that, about like the last time either of us missed a show.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It has been a very long time since either of us have missed a show. Like, we both did the show while we had COVID, even though that pissed a couple people off.
Sure did.
Like, that was actually... I have listened to that episode, and it is just a cacophony of bullshit. Sorry, guys. Just for 2 hours. Yeah, that, pretty much.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, just like that. It's pretty great.
But it was both
of us.
They seem to be losing their potency, but... Whatever.
Well, they're not additives. They are, it's not like if I take more of these, they'll do better. It either works or doesn't. Anyway.
So, yeah.
Did you play any video games?
A little more Mario RPG. Not as much as I wanted to, obviously. Oh, it's fucking great. It's it's literally Mario RPG. Like, there is no surprises. It's Mario RPG. And I'm fine with that. Like I said it on the show before, it's just like playing Mario RPG, but you put on your glasses. Like, it's just so fun to get to new places and be like, oh, so that's what that's supposed to look like. Or that's the...
oh, that's it.
Oh, dagnammit. I totally spaced out. I was supposed to do this stupid gambling thing. Rats.
How dare you?
I just said, too busy doing a podcast. What are you going to do? I missed out on $28. Anyway, yeah. So Mario RPG's been great. And I'm doing the little 2D Mario playthrough thing whenever I... don't feel like concentrating on Mario RPG. Like, the first night we had the dog here was he woke up in the middle of the night. He just needed to use the bathroom, which was fine. He went and used the bathroom, and everything would have been fine had he not then decided, like, well, it's time to hump Naga's brains out. And he just went over there and got to fucking work. And I was like, no, you can't do this. And he's like, no, I need to do this. I will do this.
He does have some really impressive back thigh muscles. They're really fucking defined.
They really, really are.
Poor guy. Imagine what his life was like before we got him fixed. Oh, God. Poor dude. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, seems to have worked it out of his system. But yeah, so I got some Mario RPG playing in that night. I'm just like, well, I'm not getting back to sleep. I have to take the kids to school for a couple hours, so, well, let's get to work. But yeah, I did. So I finished Mario 1. I'm on... so for Mario 2, since I just did Mario Advance like a month or so ago, like, could I talk about that on the show? Well, I just played Mario 2 because I started playing it on Mario All-Stars. And like, I do like this better than Mario Advance, but I just did this. So I switched over to the NES version, which is at least visually more different than Mario Advance. And I decided to do something I've actually never done before, which was just go do a level of, no warps, all Mario run. Because I have specific characters I play on specific levels. Like, I have my Mario 2 run optimized for when I was a kid. It's like, you know what? I've never played just Mario through the entire game. So that's been pretty fun. It's been going well. Like I said, I'm at World 7 now, so I just have 7-1, 7-2, and then Mario 2 is behind me. And I also did Super Mario Land, because that's it's still weirdly not on Switch. Like, Mario Land 2 is, Mario Land 1 is not. And I don't understand that at all. But I was, in the nights when I'm waiting for Ellie to get ready for bed, I'll just whip out the 3DS. And so, at a couple of days, I was done with Mario Land, playing it like, 5 minutes at a time or something. Then I went to start up Mario Land 2. I was like, no, this doesn't work. Putting Mario Land after Mario 1, I know that's not chronologically sound, but it makes gameplay-wise sense. It's not a more complicated... It's a less complicated game than Mario 2, so it fits between Mario 1 and Mario 2 when you're talking about just overall game complexity. Yeah. Switching over to Mario Land 2, because I was like, well, I'm still here, I'm done with Mario Land, let's try Mario Land 2. It's like, well, first off, I'd rather play this on my TV than here on my 3DS, and also, like, this game does not make sense before Mario World, like, because it's so based on... a lot of mechanics in Mario World, and it's like, this game's definitely, I can't play this one yet, so I put that aside and just started playing some Picross. But yeah, that's where I'm at with the Mario playthroughs. I'm really excited to get to Mario 3. I haven't played through Mario 3 in a while. I think the last thing I did was on Wii U last year. I did all the e-reader levels, which was really fun. I'm probably not going to do those again, but I do think I'm only going to do... I don't think I'm going to do New Super Mario Bros. U. I think I'm just going to do New Super Mario Bros. And call it a day.
Okay. I don't think anybody's going to yell at you. No, like you do what you got to do.
I've tried New Super Mario Bros. 2 a handful of times, and every time I play it, I'm just like, it's just fucking boring. I don't have any interest in playing this.
And why spend your fucking time doing that at this
point?
Point?
Just so that I can say I've beaten all the 2D Mario games. Like, if they do some sort of HD collection and put it on the TV, maybe.
But even that's kind of pushing it, right?
Yeah. But I love the original New Super Mario Brothers. I love that game. I replayed that again, 2 years ago? It's still great, so I have no problem playing that again. I do remember really liking New Super Mario Bros. U, so I might give that one a go, but I'm honestly just... I feel like I can just skip that entire series again. As great as U was, it's just like... I don't know. Thinking back on it, I'm like... I'm wishy-washy on whether or not I actually feel like putting through the effort to play that one again. Because I'm really just excited to get back to Wonder, to be perfectly honest. Like, I liked that game that much. I'm really excited to get back to it, and I don't feel like U does enough that's super interesting and different from New Super Mario Brothers, like the first one. And if I'm going to play any one game from that series, that's probably the one I'm going to wind up playing. I don't know. We'll see how I feel when I get there. We'll see how I'm doing in this whole 2D Mario thing. There's still plenty of other things to do. I have to get back up to my 100% completion rate in Vampire Survivors. I haven't played that in 2 weeks. And I keep thinking of it like, man, I should really play that again. But I just haven't gotten around to it. I haven't touched Horizon Chase 2, which is it's because I keep forgetting it exists. And every now and then I'll be looking at the icons on my home screen and be like, oh shit, I don't have time, because I can't play that. I can't play it for 5 minutes. I just can't.
Right. You're just not going to.
No. Yeah. And I haven't had the opportunity to really sit and play a game besides Mario RPG for a little while, and that's just the one I'm working through. That's pretty much it. I did write my Air Twister review today, which was.
Did you call up Steve for a quote?
Steve,
our who we interviewed, Ninja Baseball Spirits.
Oh,
who loved the game. I read.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry.
Holy shit, I forgot all about that.
The listeners remembered.
I did not. No, I gave it a pretty low score because I just didn't like it. I just don't think that game fucking works at all. I recognize that a lot of it was personal preference. Like, I'm sure there's some people out there that think that this not quite Queen music and this super bland presentation is great. And the space ducks are awesome, but I just think none of it works. Because it was like, I was trying to describe the visuals, and I was like, it looks like a PS2 era game that's been up-resed. I'm like, wait a sec. This game started life as a fucking mobile game. That's what this looks like. It looks like a discount mobile game. Because that's what it fucking is. Such a huge letdown. I really wanted to love that game.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
I'm very sorry.
And tonight, I did get a little bit of extra rest because tonight we watched it was Karen's pick for movie night. And so we watched A Christmas Story, which I am not a fan of. So I fell asleep for it.
Have never seen A Christmas Story.
Really?
Yeah,
I feel
never
like
seen it.
That's one of those things.
And
like,
at this point, I'm not going to. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not about to now.
It's fair.
Because fuck all that noise. Yeah.
You know, you tell people I don't drink, they're like, oh, okay, that's, I don't know, I'll get you to drink or something like that. But when I tell people I haven't seen I don't like A Christmas Story, that's like a fucking insult right there. Like, what do you mean? How can you not? Like, the movie's perfect. It's an amazing Christmas movie. It's like, what could you possibly not like about it? And I'll tell you what I don't like. It's the fucking main character. I'm not saying the movie is devoid of humor. There's stuff in there that's very funny. But the main character is fucking awful. He's this little shit kid who is super self-obsessed, way more so than any kid should aspire to be. And they play it off like it's this cute, endearing thing that this kid wants his parents to sob and beg for his forgiveness for, like, not giving him the Christmas presents that he wanted, or washing his mouth out with soap, and he pretends like, oh, what if I got blind? And then he has this whole dream sequence of his parents on their knees crying and begging for forgiveness. Like, what fucking child wants that? That is just awful. This self-obsessed.
I don't know. I would argue
that
I would argue that you haven't met a lot of children then, if you don't think that's accurate.
I don't know. I hate the guy. I hate that character. I hate that kid, and I do not enjoy the movie because of it. Because I think he's just an obnoxious, self-obsessed shit. But whatever.
Yeah, like, because I watched, what was it? It's a Wonderful Life. I watched that for the first time just a couple years ago. And that movie, I was like, fuck, I really should have watched this a long time ago. This is really fucking good. You know, like,
I haven't seen that. I should watch that.
You really should.
I like that. I say I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it since I was little. And I've watched the movie fully, but not since I've been old enough to really get it, you know? So I haven't watched it as even a teenager. Like, I haven't watched it as a conscious human, which is something that I feel that I should do.
Yeah, I know I'm not breaking new ground here, being like, oh, this is a really good fucking movie, but, like, it really held up, and I think it, because I didn't watch it until I was already a father. You know, I think if I had watched it, like when Tiff and I first got together, before we had the girls or whatever, I'd be like, it's all right. You know? Like, this is fine.
Wonderful seems like a stretch, but I'll take it.
Yeah. You know, it's okay. It's an okay life.
It's a tolerable life.
Yeah, I feel like that's the movie like that you make with Joe Pesci. I don't know why, I just feel like Joe Pesci's the right one for that role. Like, it's an life. But after having kids, I was like, oh, okay. All right. I get it. I see what we're doing here. was really good.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to find some time to watch that at some point. I probably should.
Yeah.
But it's going to be my movie
definitely.
pick next week, and I mean, I kind of feel like it has to be Muppet Christmas Carol.
It really does, right?
I mean, Muppet Family Christmas is my favorite, but that's a TV movie, and it's not quite feature length.
Right.
So, like, I feel like I can get away with that on just a night, not making my movie pick.
Right.
And, yeah, there's not really. We already watched Christmas Vacation. Karen's probably going to wind up picking Elf at some point.
I do like that movie. I don't love that movie.
Yeah.
But I like it.
I like that movie quite a bit. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's
good.
A solid Christmas movie. And I avoided it for years because I'm not the biggest Will Ferrell fan, but like, damn if I don't enjoy, especially the first half of that movie. It's just not so bad.
No, that's good stuff.
Ellie picked Home Alone last week.
I do love Home Alone. John picked Die Hard. This is a bold choice, but good for him.
I don't know what Josh would pick.
When I went to the record store last week, the dude, he sold me for like $4. He sold me the fucking soundtrack to Scrooged. Final. And I was like, yeah, all right. Threaten me with a good time. I'll have that. We haven't even put up our Christmas tree yet, because last week I went and did. Usually we do it the day after that Saturday after Thanksgiving, but Tiff worked, and by the time she got home, she was just so fucking tired. I was like, all right, we'll do it next weekend. Not a big deal. We got the Mariah Carey records and the Barbra Streisand Christmas album and all the good stuff ready to go. So while she's working tomorrow, I'll like trudge my broke ass up into the attic and pull this shit out.
Yeah, I pulled everything down before Thanksgiving, actually, before we went up last week. And then right after Thanksgiving, we went out, and when we got back, I think that was the Saturday after Black Friday, we went right out and picked out ourselves a Christmas tree. And we actually saved a ton of time, because we usually go to this farm that's nearby. And like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, we used to be able to go there and pick out a nice tree. They'd cut it down fresh, and it was great. But for the last couple of years, the farm has gotten way busier and more popular. And if you're not there on Black Friday to tag a tree, then you're shit out of luck. So this year we're
not getting a nice one. Yeah,
just completely. We threw all that to the wayside and we just went right to, there's a Christmas tree lot that's right down the block from my house. And that's where we wound up after checking like 5 or 6 different local farms and coming up with nothing. We eventually went there and was like, oh, that's a pretty good tree. So we're like, you know what? I liked this place. Let's just go there. And so we did, and we found the perfect tree in like 10 minutes. Bought it, took it home, got it all set up. Got my fake tree down in the basement. It's all decorated with my video game ornaments, which is awesome. Sitting right next to me here. Keeps me company while I'm working.
That's fucking great. That's great.
So because like one year we couldn't find any decent trees, so we just went out and bought a fake tree. Which wound up being way too small, and I think that was like 2 years ago. And then last year we're like, you know what? I'm gonna set this thing up in the basement, because fuck it, we got too many ornaments anyway. So I just separated almost all the video game stuff. I decided just making a video game Christmas tree here in the basement. And I'm thinking about getting that. You know, the Super Mario Superstar tree topper? I'm sure you've seen ads around. I keep thinking about that, but it's like, it's just outside of like
impulse purchase.
It's like $35. Like, it was
25.
25, no question. 30 would be pushing it, but I probably would have fallen for it. But like over $30, like this just isn't impulse buy. Like, I want it, but I don't know that I want it that bad. I kind of do, though. I keep checking around to see if I can find it. I keep checking, seeing if it shows up anywhere for less than 35. I might pull the trigger on it, but and then today I did all the outside decorations today, because Ellie finally went back to school today. She has been off home sick from school for 2 days from just redecorating the bathroom, which was like, oh good God, that was fun. And of course, she's been pretending to be a dog for the last couple of days, so that's just
just great
all day, every day.
A very sick dog.
she went back to school today, and I was like, you know what? It's nice outside. It's not going to rain till later. I'm gonna do this thing. So I went. I finally got the outdoor decorations like exactly where I wanted them. But then I remembered last year, the bigger lights that we had around the house, they burnt out.
Yeah,
or at least like most of them burnt out. They were like the kind of chunkier LED ones, not the big ones that are the same size as like the real old school Christmas lights, the incandescents.
Right.
But they're like that medium size, and most of them had burnt out. They're a couple of years old. They needed to be replaced. And last year I wound up going with just like normal tiny twinkle lights, and like I wasn't happy with that. That's not what I want outside my house. So this year we're a bit more financially sound this year, which is nice. So I bit the bullet and I bought the nice Christmas lights. And holy shit, which is
exciting. That's awesome.
We did. I forget what I needed.
It makes such a difference. It really does. Honestly, truly does.
Because like this year, when we were decorating the regular tree, excuse me, when we were decorating the tree upstairs, some of the lights had burnt out, and I remembered that, and so we went over to the hardware store, me and Ellie, and I was like, all right, what's the difference between all these lights? Like, how much better could these super nice lights actually be? And the guy who worked at the store was like, look, they are better. Like, I just like, trust me, I don't know how they're brighter, they last longer, they're just better, and I trust the people at this Ace Hardware store. They've never steered me wrong. So I bought the nice ones, and as soon as I plugged them in, I was like, holy shit, that's madness. Like, I understand these were like twice as much as the cheapo ones, but holy shit, was that worth it?
Yeah.
So today I went out there and I bought 200, which I thought was enough, and it wasn't, because I'm a dumbass.
No, it never is.
200 was enough. I needed 300, but I got most of the way through it, and I got up on the ladder and all the way up to the top, and I have a crippling fear of heights, but that's how much I love. Oh, I'm terrible with heights. That's how much I love Christmas decorations, that I will force myself to the top of the ladder, clutching on for dear life, shivering, and just like get one hand up there to clip the lights on that very tippy top section. Like
and then scurry down like a fucking
No scurrying. Just no scurrying? Slow. I'm too scared to scurry. If I move, I have to move very slowly, very deliberately, and hug the ladder with all of my body. But it's weird. It's like a very specific height. It's like once I get past the first floor, I lose my mind. Like, I can do the front of the house just fine, because that just goes right up to the ceiling of the first floor. But doing the side of the house, it goes all the way up to the top of the attic, and it's like,
it's pretty fucking far up there, man. Like, not for nothing.
Scares the shit out of me. And I also didn't get it done. Like, right as I was finishing up, I got all the candy canes set up outside of the house. I got all the little doodad decorations. I got the one inflatable. See, we do inflatables for Halloween, but I don't really do inflatables for Christmas. Except Karen,
I don't like them for Christmas.
She bought this one last year that's so absurd. It's a fucking T-Rex with Christmas presents and a Santa hat. And I'm like,
yeah, it's pretty great.
We can keep this one. It's great. And I put that one on the side of the house. I really want those, like, you know, those light up reindeer, like they're like made of wire, kind of, you know what I mean? They're white blood. I've always wanted those, and I have this perfect spot for them. They're very pretty. I have a perfect spot for them right in the front of the house. But they have these 3 like light up Christmas present things. I have one of those spiral trees, and with this little light up snowman thing that we've had for a long time. And this garland that goes across my fence that glows and lights up, and I have it all wired from this, frankly, irresponsible number of extension cords that go all around the house. So I have the wires set up in places so that I won't trip on them. Right? They're just out of the way, and also they're all able to be turned on and off with a single light switch. Because I used to have them on the whole dawn to dusk timer things. Yeah. And those are nice, but I like to be able to turn them on and off. Like, I just want to be able to beep on, beep off.
To just flick a switch. Yeah.
Yes, and then everything's on. And I did it this year. I successfully wired everything from the single outlet that I have outside that's on and off, that's got an on and off switch inside. I'm very happy with the way it came out. I got like to the end of that second strand. I was like, God damn it, I need another 100 bulbs. So I drove back out to Ace, grabbed one more strand of bulbs, got them up as it was raining. It was cold and wet, and the dog's inside crying because I'm inside, because the dog misses me terribly whenever I leave the room.
Which is lovely.
He's got the little twitches going on right now. He's dreaming. Fresh.
Nice.
But yeah, that's we're all officially Christmas.
That's some interesting video games that you've played.
Yeah, I did play. What is it? I did. Yeah, just a little bit more Mario 2 today. That's when I got up to World 7, and I'm just excited to jump into Mario 3. I freaking love that game, and I haven't played through it in a while. And it's going to do Mario 3. Mario 3, then Mario World, then Mario Land 2, and that's when everything went 3D. So then I just go right to New Super Mario Brothers, and then back to Wonder, I think, unless I decide to do U for some reason.
Yeah?
Do U. Actually, no, there was one more thing. The one more thing that popped in my head that I wanted to do, because John's been playing, he jumped back into Mario Maker. I was like, you know what I should do? I should play my Mario Maker world. Now that I've forgotten most of it, like that might be a really fun thing to do. So I think that's what I'm going to do before I get back to Wonder. I'm going to try to play through my Mario Maker world, because I think that would be really fun. Oh God, Karen is playing a game today. This is something that never happens. She asked me if I had heard of this game before. I was like, I have no idea. And she had read about it on the fucking Mary Sue, and it's called.
Fucking hate that website.
Game is called. She's not a fan either. She follows it from time to time because they will sometimes post news stories that she doesn't find elsewhere. But what was the name of that game? Actually, you know what? I bet I could find it on the Switch app. Let's see.
They used to be like, I'm talking like a decade prior. They were a pretty cool, respectable website, and then about a decade ago they just went down a path where it's like, all right, like I see where you started, but man, you got like, you're just being assholes now, and it's just like, this isn't a fun, interesting, nuanced sort of thing any longer. It's just like, everything's fucking terrible. Like, all right,
yeah,
cool.
That's not fun.
It's
the
really
game's
not.
Called Suika Game.
Okay.
It's like, this looks like I'm told it's a fun and addictive puzzle game. And so she boots up the eShop.
That's what people have told me.
She boots up the eShop, and she's looking at it. And I'm like, well, it's $3. Why don't you buy it? She's like, are you sure it's okay? I'm like, it's $3.
It's 3 whole doll hairs. Yeah.
Like, even if we weren't doing okay financially, I think we could swing $3 for this
likely
weird fruit game. And so it's like, how do I describe this? It's like physics-based Tetris almost, except instead of Tetris blocks, they're round fruits. And like, cool. So you're this little cloud, and you drop these fruits, and when two of the same kind of fruit touch each other, they turn into a different kind of fruit, which is bigger.
Sure.
And like 2 grapes turn into an orange, 2 oranges turn into a tomato, 2 tomatoes turn into an apple. And like,
sure,
it's just kind of filling up a well with these different fruits that get bigger and bigger. And they were playing it for like, the kids came home and were like, what is this new game? And they were just cheering her on for like a fucking hour while I was making pizza tonight. Like, okay, well, all right. Well, we certainly got if we never play this again, we clearly got $3 worth of entertainment out of it. So that was a thing. Suika Game. If you're interested in fruit-based physics Tetris, sort of, Suika Game. Ta-da.
That's the one for you.
Yeah. What about you? You play any video games?
I did.
No,
actually.
Oh, you did. All right.
Okay. Yeah. I fucking hate video games. No. So on Monday,
books are best.
I did read. I was reading this week. I've never read through Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, so I endeavored to start fixing that particular problem.
Oh, do they?
This week. I don't know. I haven't finished the book yet. I'll let you know.
Son of a bitch.
But I had a very quiet day at the office on Monday. There was a lot of people still out from the holiday, and I don't think I said, legitimately, I don't think I said more than 5 words all day. And it was awesome. And while I was doing that, while I was there working on different things in quiet, I was like, you know what? I am going to watch, finally, because I have the time to just sit here and do it, I am going to watch Kris's retrospective on Legend of Zelda.
Oh my goodness. How much did you hate it?
No, I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. So I watched the whole thing, and when it was over, I was like, all right, you know, like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give it a fucking shot. I'm gonna play through fucking Ocarina of Time. So I have now made it further into that game than I have ever made it before, which is not very far, to be fair. But I've started playing through that, and man, it is a fucking ugly game, dude. Like, I don't know if you know that or not. That game is really fucking ugly, and it makes me sad with how ugly it is. But I am enjoying my time through it. I really, at this point,
what that game did visually within its constraints. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think I've said this before, like that and the first Metal Gear Solid were just like, you know what? This is what we can do, so we're just going to work with this. And I neither of those games are good looking, right? Because like Metal Gear Solid is, you just, that man's head's a rectangle. Okay, we're like 2 steps away from the money for nothing video. And like the same with Ocarina of Time. It's just like, you look at Adult Link and it's like, well, the eyes are painted on and his nose is a triangle. But you know what? I respect that they didn't try to cheat anything. They were just like, nope, this is what this game fucking looks like.
This is what it is. Yeah.
This is what it is, and we're going to act the characters out with these character models and just go. And there's those 2 games in particular in that entire generation, I feel like embraced their limitations better than anything else. And I appreciate that.
They embrace their bullshit, certainly.
There is a degree of beauty to be had in those games, even though they are fugly. There's just there are moments in both of those games where you just look like when even that first area when you're leaving the footprints in the snow, you're just like, shit, that's really great. And then like Ocarina of Time, first time you see the Hyrule Field, the sunset, you're just like, I know they're just super flat polygons, but man, the lighting, they really pulled this shit together. Like, it's not bad. It's not bad. Anyway, go on.
It does make me very upset that the 3DS remake is not on the Switch.
Oh my god, I just want to play that on TV. Like, honestly, I just want them to do that better. I want them to do, go further with it. But
for sure, like, absolutely. But like, just the fact that there is a better version of that game. Like, yes, I could come downstairs and I could shmemulate it, but I don't want to shmemulate it. I want to play it up on my television.
Exactly.
So I'm playing through that. I did pick up last week because the Black Friday sales for video games were just fucking awful, as we discussed. But one thing that was on sale, I think for like $5, was the Portal collection on Switch.
Oh yeah, fuck
I think it was $5. So
that's
I picked
obscene.
That up. And Tiff and I have been, right. Tiff and I have been playing through that. And again, but I feel very similarly playing through that. I'm like, why is this not on the Xbox? Why is this not on the PlayStation? Why is this only on the Switch? Like, that's
Can you not get those games on the current generation systems?
You cannot.
I know, like, the companion collection specifically isn't, but like, isn't the Orange Box still like available?
I I am not going to look it up. I am just going to go ahead and say no, it isn't. I believe the last time that Portal 2 was available on Sony or Microsoft hardware was the 360 PlayStation 3 generation, which I believe is also the last time the Orange Box was available. So the fact that I can't get these on my new fancy schmancy modern system really pisses me, because the fucking, those games are, obviously, we're not breaking new ground. They're fucking great. But man, that loading time every now and again is like, son of a bitch, I hate this.
Right. Yeah,
but
I forgot
really,
there was a little bit of it.
Yeah, like just in between, like when you're going up in the elevator. It's like, man, fuck, stop it. Stop loading your cartridge. You're not allowed to load. But like, I know how stupid that sounds. But yeah, just really, really fucking good. Really, really like those games. Really,
they're unreasonably good. They just hold up so well. I wish they'd make a third one.
Well, but I was just going
to
say, every time I play through those games, and I haven't played through the first Portal in fucking forever. I've certainly played through Portal 2 more often. But every time I play through them, I'm like, man, they should really make a third one. But also, fuck, it would be just so hard to make this game. Like, the puzzles and how clever it is, like, I get it. I get why you're like, yeah, we don't have one yet. We just haven't, we're not there. We haven't been that fucking clever. Because everything is so fucking brilliantly laid out. Just, man, if there is anybody listening who has not played either of those games yet, just, what are you doing? Like, those are games that justify the rest of video gaming's existence. That's how fucking good they are. You know?
They are all time, for sure. They really are. I understand what you're saying about it being so meticulously well done. But they did it twice. And, like, Portal 3 in space. Portals in space. Zero gravity portals. Like, that's what you set up at the end of that game.
That's all I want. I know.
That's what they set up at the end of the game. Oh, Half-Life. I actually have a way of playing Half-Life now. And it's on my list of things to do. Like, somebody in the Discord told me that Half-Life was free for its anniversary on Steam. And it's like, all right. So I downloaded Steam on my computer. And yeah, all the like Half-Life and Half-Life 2 and Episode 1 and 2 or whatever.
Right.
They were
right.
like Half-Life 1 was free, and then the other ones were like $1. I was like, you know what?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna I'll get all the Half-Life games. You know, that's how much I like Portal. So let's do it. And I haven't touched them yet because obviously I'm doing I'm doing other. I didn't buy them with the intention of playing them right away. I was like, I'm playing Mario RPG right now. That's what I'm playing right now. And but I have that on the list, and apparently Doom Eternal. I can't believe I haven't played that one either. I bought that one so long ago.
That's weird that you haven't. Yeah,
it came up in the Discord today. I was like, shit, I really did never get around to playing that, and like it went on sale for like $10 on Switch. And I remember the reason I didn't was because I was holding out hope that there'd be a physical one, and then by the time there was a physical one, I had all these other games to play. So that it was like, I just didn't get around to it. And then I got it on Xbox One, which is where I should play it anyway, because I don't need,
for sure. Yeah.
When I played through the first Doom, the portability factor was huge for me, but you know, the kids are older and I don't have that. I can't play on my lunch break at work anymore because I work from home. So like, I don't need to do that on the handheld in my car while I'm supposed to be in my office. Like, I can just play it on my TV, and I may as well play it on Xbox One instead of
because it's going to play better. Yeah,
exactly. It's going to play and look better, and I'm sure the Switch version plays and looks just fine, just like the original Doom did. But there's no way it's going to look better than the Xbox One. So let's just go for that. So I have it. It's sitting there on my shelf. I need to get around to doing it. Just not enough goddamn time.
There really isn't. Can't wait to retire. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, so I played through those two. I'm going to keep playing through, also playing through a little bit more Star Wars. I really just want to jump in, and I think I'm going to try and finish that like this week, so that we can really dedicate our time to these other things. Because I've got to pick up Spider-Man 2 here at some point relatively soon. I was hoping it would go on sale for Black Friday. It definitely did not. So I'll pick it up here at some point. Definitely physical. And I don't know if you're going to talk about this in week-old news, but man, there's something that Sony did, or an email that Sony sent this week that has, I think, really kind of kicked me back over to like, yeah, all right, physical it is. Okay, that's fine if available.
Well,
you know?
I can't say it is. So let's do that transition, and then you can kick us off. So it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for week-old news. Dan,
there is music.
What the hell are you talking about?
There is music, by the way. I did listen.
Yes.
Okay, so hold on. I really thought this would be on your list.
No,
so
I seem
didn't
to have missed
pulled.
it. I don't have anything specifically PlayStation on my list for this week.
I didn't have it. All right, so I just pulled it up. Sony has sent out an email to affected users saying that a number of television shows as of December. I'm looking at the Sony PlayStation.com. There's a link in the Kotaku article where it is linked to the Sony website. It says, as of the 31st of December 2023, due to our content licensing arrangements with content providers, and here's where it gets really fucked up, Kris, you will no longer be able to watch any of your previously purchased Discovery content, and the content will be removed from your video library. We sincerely thank you for your continued support. Thank you, PlayStation Store. Now, this does not affect me at all. I did not purchase any seasons of A Crime to Remember, or Alaska, The Last Frontier, or Alaskan Bush People, or Naked and Afraid, or American Chopper, or any of this other stupid shit that is comfort food television for a lot of people. Like, I'm not going to lose access to Breaking Amish season 54. What really fucking just has me really just upset and concerned is that what really grinds my gears is that it's just the fucking fly in the ointment here, Kris, is that at no time since digital platforms have become the standard, and let me also preface this by saying I am positive that the same legal jargon, mumbo jumbo, whatever that Sony has to support their removal of this stuff, I am sure Nintendo has it. I am sure Amazon, Microsoft, I'm sure they all have it, right? This is not a Sony problem. This is a current way we consume media problem. But it has never been presented as you are purchasing access to the right to stream this particular thing as long as we have access to it ourselves, right? It has been, you are purchasing this content. And that's been the end of it. The fact that they are going to remove that content from your video library means you will no longer be able to access it. Whether you have it download, this is like, the way I understand it and the way it's being reported on is that it's going away. Someone like, people have been asking questions. Sony has not been responding to them. This is fucking scary. You know, like, this is kind of the first time that this kind of shit is happening on a large scale with a big fucking network. Like, I know Discovery, like I said, isn't... Yeah, it's not a huge factor in my life, and I've never purchased TV shows through the PlayStation Store. But the fact that it's just going to be...
Ultraviolet stuff?
Oh, man, I don't remember, honestly, but I don't think there's been anything to this level of, like, we're just straight up, we are going to remove this. Like, you've been able to access the content if you still have it, but not in a, we're taking this. Like,
yeah,
this
we're
is
going to
ours.
go into your system, we're
going
to take it out of your downloads. Like, it's just not there for you anymore.
Like, it's just not there.
I feel like this I feel like this has happened at least once before. Again, maybe not to the extent as this extent, but this is really ringing a bell. You know, or maybe it's just the fear mongering around this that it could
perhaps
that it absolutely could happen. You know, because this has always been the risk, which is like, it kind of reminds me of what scares me so much about the Switch in the future. Like, if I take that thing somewhere and it doesn't connect to the internet, it won't allow me to play the games that I've purchased with my money. And it's like, oh, we need to authenticate that you're allowed to play this. Like, well, 10 years from now, if I want to play Untitled Goose Game, if I don't have a physical copy and they're now no longer supporting the Switch at all, I just simply can't play anything that isn't a physical game on there because it won't be able to authenticate because you're no longer authenticating games with the Nintendo Switch Online. Like, that's
and it wouldn't be out of the realm of reasonable expectations for Nintendo to do something like that. Not that they're a bad cut, like, and I'm not saying this is like, ooh, bad Nintendo, but they have discontinued all of their previous stores, as well they should. That's not money that you should be spending and whatever. But like, they have also, what the fuck was the point I was going to make? Oh, look, you cannot, when you went from, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Kris, when you went from the Wii to the Wii U, if you would purchase games on the Wii, you could re-download them on the Wii U. It was the same store, right?
Sort of.
You had to go to the Wii channel and then go to the Wii shop, like all that bullshit, but you could still have them.
Because it wasn't the same. That was available as long as the Wii was available, because it literally just switched your Wii U into a Wii. Like, it wasn't like, here's this different channel. It was like, no, it's just like, it was like the PlayStation 2 mode in your PlayStation 3. Like, it's not a different mode. There's literally a PS2 in there, and it just plays that instead of the PS3. So that's how that worked with Wii U. So once the Wii shop channel was toast, it was toast on Wii U as well.
But what I'm saying is that as long as, and they gave you warning, right? They said, like, here's this.
Oh yeah, there was like a year
and if you
advance.
Downloaded shit,
and if you
downloaded shit to your system, you got to keep it. It wasn't removed from your library.
Exactly.
Right? Like you still had it.
This is here.
But when they moved to Switch, all of those games that you had previously purchased are now no longer available on your Switch.
Correct.
Because they don't sell them. So you can't have them.
Yeah, they're an intrinsically different thing. So it's like, that's like saying, my NES games are unavailable on my Super NES. They were just totally different things. Which,
but it's not, because it's still a fucking digital download. It's not that at all, right? Like, you could still, they obviously have the software capable of emulating the games. You could fucking re-download shit, because are there not games that you purchased on the Wii U and the Wii that run through the Nintendo emulator? Like the fucking Contra Reimagined games and all of that shit? Like, once your Wii craps out, or your Wii U, those are gone.
That's
true. That's it, because they never carried it over.
So the trouble,
it would not...
I see the point that you're making, but the trouble there is that let's say Space Invaders Get Even. That's a super weird game. It was only on the Wii shop channel. It's a WiiWare game, but that isn't like, even if you could download it on Switch, you couldn't play it on Switch because it's not designed to. You couldn't play it on Switch without them going in and making it compatible with Switch controllers. Because it's not a standard, push, 6-button layout kind of a thing. It's not a standard control scheme. Like the same with a lot of the Wii U exclusive stuff. Like, where's the second screen displaying? Like, it's just not.
No, for sure. And like, and I am not even saying that games that are intrinsically tied, and that's much more of a Nintendo problem.
Yeah.
But games that are intrinsically tied to their control scheme, second screen, whatever the fuck. I'm not even talking about those. I'm talking about the plethora of NES games that you purchased on both of those systems that, by all rights, like, you purchased the right to that game, they should be available to then download and play through your Switch as well, is my belief. I know Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft do not fucking agree with me. And ultimately, I think that's what we have to kind of remember here, is that these are giant fucking evil corporations. Like, and I know nobody wants to hear like Nintendo's an evil corporation, but they're a giant fucking corporation that underpays their workers, just like the rest of them do. They're not the good guys in this situation. Like, they're just not. And that's okay. They still make things we love and we still support them and all of those things, right? But ultimately, they're not here to be on our side. No fucking giant corporation is actually consumer friendly. That would put them out of business. But the idea that, to your point, right? Again, short story long as to what you said. If in 5 years from now, when the Switch 2 is out, they decide to no longer, right, and if they don't carry games over, like purchases or whatever, fucking, if they didn't do that, and then they decide to stop authenticating shit for the Switch, you're out literal thousands of dollars at this point.
Oh, for sure.
And that's fucking scary. Like, that really that's upsetting.
It is. There was this, the way they handled it with Wii U, I thought they were kind of on the right direction. Because the one thing about going from platform to platform, and I don't know enough about it to say for sure, but the one thing about going from platform to platform, and the reason that Nintendo does things the way that they do, was that they would test each individual virtual console game. It's like, okay, well, this worked on Wii. Does it work on Wii U? It's like, instead of just using a standardized emulator, they would make it specific into, well, this is the new emulator for the new system, so now we have to run this through this again. So if you already purchased this game on, like, you purchased Super Mario Bros. For $5, for $1, you can upgrade it to the Wii U version. Now, once your library becomes massive, then, like, well, I don't want to spend like $150 to bring all of my stuff over to the new system, but maybe I don't actually need all those old games. Like, maybe a big chunk of those are ones that I don't particularly care about anymore. So I don't know. I think they were onto something with, like, have everything from the old system carried to the new system. Have at least that be an option, and have some sort of maybe small nominal fee. Or, like, if you're a Nintendo Switch Online member, you can play all your old stuff without having to pay upgrade fees or something. Like, I don't know. It would be wonderful if it was free, but I understand that there is some work involved in making sure that something doesn't go horribly awry when playing this thing on this system as opposed to this system, right? Because programming is weird, and sometimes shit just goes awry for reasons that defy logic. So I understand that there's some work involved. And I will fully be
the first to admit that I do not know jack or shit about programming.
Right.
Like, I don't fucking understand. I watched a fucking YouTube video the other day of some dude building a Sega Neptune. Right, do you remember what that system was supposed to be? I think it was called the Neptune. That was going to play 32X and Genesis cartridges. this guy, so somebody has
I know
made
exactly what you're talking
case.
about. That's
Yeah,
we've actually
and a mod
gotten
and all
a
of
whole
that.
bunch of requests for people asking us to build that for them, and we're just not doing that specific mod because it's pretty damn complicated.
It was like, and I'm watching it, and the dude's like I know what a circuit board is. I look at it. I don't know how that makes video games. I don't I don't fucking get it. It is complete fucking Greek to me. So when we're talking about programming and porting games over and all of that shit, I fully understand that there are things I don't know about this. What I do know is that selling something to somebody with the idea that it's theirs, which is how these things were presented, and then removing access to it later is all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah, because that's not like when I bought my NES cartridge and it didn't work in my Super NES. Well, as long as my NES still functions, or any NES still functions,
it still works.
It still works. That's the joy of physical media. So, like, all my physical Switch games, they don't need to authenticate. I plug them in and they play. So I'm fine in that department. There's a handful of games I'd still have to get physically, but whatever. Maybe they'll get released physically in the future and I'll be able to do that. But regardless, that's one of the reasons I stick so much to the physical games, because I do go back to stuff 10, 20 years down the line. Like, I'm going to want to play Untitled Goose Game sometime in the future. And it's not going to be soon.
Of course.
I'm going to want to play through that again. So I want to make sure I have a little physical cartridge that I can do that. Not that it won't necessarily get ported to new platforms, but you never know. House could
But it might not.
It might not. They could get bought by some larger company that then gets absorbed into some other larger company and then dissolved for some sort of tax write-off, and now, boom, House and Untitled Goose Game is gone forever because they just don't feel like porting it or something like that. Like, that can happen.
Right.
Look at fucking Toy Commander. Toy Commander's, that company, no cliche, is gone, and Sega hasn't seen fit to put Toy Commander on anything. That game is, it exists on Dreamcast,
it's
and
gone.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's
and
happens.
emulation, and that's where it gets back to that conversation of, is this piracy or preservation?
A little bit of both.
It's a little bit of both. Stuff can be two things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw that because you're right. Like, and it's that point that you make. I think the oldest record that I have in my collection, I think, is my Elvis record, which plays just fine on my brand new turntable. My turntable that was made in 2023, my fucking Elvis record still plays. And I'm just trying to sort it really quick here on my Discogs. Year, no, I lied. Bing Crosby is my oldest record in my collection. And that record came out in 1955. And it still fucking plays on the turntable. You know what I mean? And nothing can ever take that away. So it's like, man, I was really on board the digital life there for quite a bit. But man, I think I've really come back around to being like, all right, well, fuck these corporations, now taking my shit.
I mean, for me, honestly, it depends a lot on what it is and whether or not I think I'm going to use it again. There are a lot of games on my Switch that I paid a couple of dollars for that I'm fine. Like, I'm never going to need to go back to that again in my lifetime. Like, if I lose...
No, for sure.
If I lose access to Doomsday Vault, like, that was a fun little game, but I don't have any desire to ever play that again, and that's okay. So, but I make it on a game-by-game basis. Like, if it's a game that I want to have, like, I'm going to want to have this game, then that's what I want to put the money in towards. And that's what's really difficult about the indie scene, is that you never really know if it's going to get a physical version. And then by the time it does come out, like, well, do I buy it again?
Now I got to deal with some sort of bullshit of getting in and trying to get in the pre-orders, and the pre-orders are sold out. And then the aftermath. It's a fucking horrible situation.
I missed the boat on the Messenger. Really, like, I did. I missed the boat on a physical copy of the Messenger on Switch. Now they go for like a couple $100. And like, I'm not not doing that.
No.
I can't.
No.
I cannot justify it, but I want that game physically, desperately, because it's one of my favorite games on the platform, and that's a game that I've already gone back to once. I will play that game again in the future.
Oh, for sure.
I just gotta...
And at some point, like 20 years from now, your computer will be more than powerful enough, and you'll be like, all right, I'll just fucking emulate it.
And that makes me sad.
You know, like, it does. It sucks. It really sucks. You know, I don't necessarily feel as strongly about it with, like, older shit. Just because, and I think it's just because I've been emulating NES and Super Nintendo and all of that stuff for so long at this point. But the idea that, like, I have Ghost of Tsushima fucking digitally, and the idea that it could be like, well, no, you don't. Well, fuck you, man.
Not anymore.
I do have that physically or fucking digitally. I do. I bought it. You know, I don't know. I just thought that was really fucked up, man.
Yeah, that is really fucked up.
No, sir. I don't like it.
Well, I'll tell you what's not fucked up. Atari, a couple of fun things happened with Atari. There was a big interview with Wade Rosen about how just kind of like the position that Atari was in, and he really doubled down on the whole like, yeah, we know what we are. We do well when we do this, so we're just going to do this. We're not. They're one of those things that I believe them when they say they're not trying to compete with Nintendo and Sony. Like, obviously, there is always going to be a degree of that because, like, you're competing for somebody's time, and if they're going to play video games, they're going to play video games. But like, yeah, we're not going to try to make the kinds of games that they make. We're not competing on that level. We're this, and we're just going to do this. But the cool thing, the thing that jumped in the news that I thought was super exciting, is that there's 12 new games coming to Atari 50.
That's awesome.
Just for free. Here you go. Here's 12 more games. I am very curious what they're going to be. I hope one of them is Circus Atari, because that was on Atari 50 on VCS, and I want that to show up everywhere because I love Circus Atari. And I want to be able to play that with my touchscreen on the Switch. But I assume one of the games is Steeplechase. So, like, they did this funny thing where they're like, here's some hints. They put, like, 4 hints of, like, just emojis, like, figure out what these games are. One of them's a basketball game of some kind. And they said they're homebrews, old games, or, like, unreleased games. Like, oh, shit, what the hell are these all going to be? I want to say one of them might be Berserk. There was, like, a dude and a laser gun. And, like, they've been hitting Berserk pretty hard. Like, man, if they threw 2600 Berserk on Atari 50, I'll be so happy because I love that game. I've almost bought that on my VCS like 5 times. And I really should just do it because I do still play my VCS. That was another thing I did again last week. I turned it on. I played God, what did I play? I think I just did a quick round of Donut Dodo on the VCS and then put it down. But yeah, Atari 50 is getting 12 new games. That's fantastic news. I love that.
No, that's awesome. I love that they're still supporting it because, like, there are still games out there that you should have on that collection.
Oh yeah, there's a ton, and they'll probably never get all of them. But I don't know. I guess owning Digital Eclipse, that's a thing that they could just do, is continue to update that game, and that's great. That's great. Good on them. Good on Atari. I'm really happy where they are. This next story is hilarious because when I wrote this down in my notes, I think yesterday, that Microsoft still wants Game Pass on Switch and PlayStation and every screen ever. Earlier today, they clarified they don't have any plans to put Game Pass on Switch and PlayStation.
But they do want it.
So they just needed to clarify, this is what we want, but we don't have any actual plans. They are planning on making an app store? Okay.
I don't just... Man.
The Xbox One was on sale for $350 today. Sorry, not next one. Series X. The Series X, not the S. The X was on sale for $350 today. That's a hell of a deal.
I have some concerns about Microsoft going forward.
Oh, as do I.
As far as a player in the console war. And I don't know if I would feel better or worse if they just became a publisher.
Because they want that all digital future. They want what you're afraid of.
Right.
Like, that's what they're after. They don't really care about the Xbox. They care about Game Pass. They care about you buying into their ecosystem and playing what they tell you you're allowed to play.
And see, like, but even with things like with Game Pass and PS Plus and whatever, there's no bullshit there. I understand that this particular service has these games for as long as you want them to be here. And if I would like permanent access to them, I have to purchase them. Like, I know that that's the case going into it.
Right.
There's no bullshit from jump. So while it's not the best when content is removed, you know, like, I subscribe to HBO Max. I don't know why, but Tiff wanted it for something and I forget to cancel it every month. This is really why I have it.
No, sir, you subscribe to Max. HBO is no more.
Oh, well, whatever the fuck it is. You're right.
Dumb as shit.
But I know that they switch content. Like, I am well aware that that is part of the game we are playing. Netflix loses access to shit. I don't know, like, why fucking Doctor Who is only the new shit is on Disney Plus, but not the old shit, because the old shit's still on fucking Max or wherever. Like, I know that there's all those hoops to jump through. You know, and I'm okay with that because we're not pretending it's something different at the beginning.
What'd you think of that new Doctor Who, by the way?
Oh, man, I fucking loved it.
Me too.
For the most part. The wording of the lines that were delivered at the end, of like a male presenting doctor wouldn't like, I got it. I get it. She's trans. It's cool. I don't fucking care.
They did hit
Can we move
that a little hard. Yeah.
It just, and not, I am 100% supportive. I'm 100% behind you. Like, fucking support trans kids, support trans people, the whole fucking thing. If you continue to be like, look, here's the fucking thing. We're continuing to do it just came off as disingenuous at that point.
It was,
which is
awkward.
What bothered me about it.
It was
like,
yeah.
It was out of character for Donna to say that particular line in the way that it was delivered, but that's the way that it was written. And Russell T Davies is a wonderful writer and is a wonderful ally and advocate and all of those things. He is also a somewhat out of touch elderly gay man and should maybe not be the only person who's writing this particular dialogue, because it just came off as really clunky and forced. And like I said, by the end of the episode, like, if you introduce the trans character at the beginning, and this is very easy for me to say as a straight white male, but if you introduce the trans character at the beginning of the show and you establish that they are here, and then the show just continues, now it's not a thing. The way that it was presented in this episode was that the only reason the character was here is because she was trans, and the only characteristic that was important about her was that she was trans. And that's not actually positive representation moving forward.
I didn't actually think that the character was trans. That's not how I read the scene.
Oh, no, she 100% is. When the little kids ride by on the bike and they yell, like, Jacob or Joseph or whatever.
Totally missed that.
Yeah, no, and the actress herself is trans.
Totally missed that. Went right over my head.
Yeah, no, like, it was all that. It just, other than that, I thought it was great. I thought it was fucking brilliant. I've missed David Tennant so much. I did not like Jodie's run I just did not like the direction the show went in.
Same
I
here.
fell off kind of during Capaldi's run. I like Peter Capaldi a whole lot. I just was so tired of Moffat by that point.
It's the same exact feeling. I kind of wished that Jodie was able to. I wished that Jodie had stuck around because I really would have liked to see her written well. Because that was she was not a problem, just like Peter Capaldi was not a problem. Like Peter Capaldi was fucking great. Just the show wasn't great. And that was upsetting.
The stories around it.
Yeah.
Like, because I went back, Tiff and I went back and watched The Day of the Doctor. Right. So the John Hurt, Matt Smith, David Tennant episode for the 60th or whatever. And that was written by Moffat. And that's the fucking frustrating thing about Stephen Moffat is that when that dude is on, he's good.
Some of the best Doctor Who
there's nobody
Moffat
better.
Stuff. Some of the best Doctor Who
it
is his stuff.
See, and I would argue, you say some of the best, I would argue the best Doctor Who, the new Who, is Stephen Moffat. I don't know that there are any episodes that top fucking Blink. You know, like, I don't know that there's a better episode. Like, the best Doctor Who has ever been since it came back in 2005 was Stephen Moffat. But when he's bad, it is fucking unwatchable television.
And
I don't know what the hell Chris Chibnall was doing after that. That just went in a whole fucking direction.
I was okay when it started because the thing that I was so tired of, the thing with Moffat was that it just got into this constantly topping itself. Like, well, how do we make the stakes bigger? Like, oh, now it's all of reality, and now it's all of every reality, and the fabric of time. Like, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger until there was
impossibly big.
There was no way to make the stakes any bigger, and like, it had no idea how to tie it back down. So like, when Chibnall's run started, and the stakes were like smaller but still enough to feel like they had weight, it's like, all right, we're off to a really good start here. And I do think it started well, but then it just nosedived, and I stopped having
it really comes off the fucking rails.
I just stopped having any fun watching it, and that's what made me so happy about this first special, is like, even though it wasn't perfect, it was still really fun to watch. It felt like Doctor Who. It was colorful like Doctor Who, you know? It was something that happened towards the end of Moffat's run, and definitely during Chibnall's era. It was like, it started to kind of physically resemble more American big budget, you know, like with the color saturation and whatnot. And this looked like a cheesy TV show, which is what it is. And it was fucking great.
Which is what it should be.
Yeah.
You know, like we used to just obsess over that show, and it was such a huge part of our lives. And I've been so sad that it hasn't been. You know, like, but there's only like we were saying earlier, there's only so many hours in the day. I'm not going to hate watch a fucking Doctor Who show. You know, like, that's not a thing I'm going to fucking do.
It's Karen's favorite show ever, so she didn't hate watch any of it. She's like me. She's like, I will find the good in any Doctor Who, but I think she was really happy with this overall. We haven't done that episode of TWEP yet, so we haven't properly had the conversation because we wanted to save it for the show, but we talked about it a bunch at lunch, how we were just both had a lot of fun watching it, which was it was a nice feeling to have. Totally look forward to it.
Catherine Tate is a treasure. She's
great.
the best. She's the best. She's aging gracefully. Like, I love that they didn't try to make her, like, younger than she is. Like, I love the fact that the character was allowed to age and be a modern mother in the world. And the fucking, you know what the wildest shit is? David Tennant is 52 years old. Okay? Catherine Tate is 53. William Hartnell, the first Doctor, when he took that role back in the fucking 60s, he was 55.
He looks ancient.
He looks fucking like an old-ass man. And he's 3 years older than David Tennant is currently.
Here's
running
the
around skinny boy in a suit.
Here's the thing. First off, Donna was 100% right. You can wear an outfit, you can wear a suit that skinny until this exact age and no further.
No further.
But here's the thing. When they mentioned that Wilfred was still alive...
Oh, I fucking teared up, man.
Because here's the thing. He shot something for these specials before he died. So...
Yes.
That's going to wreck me. Whenever that happens, I'm gonna be destroyed.
Yeah. Oh, when David started talking about him, I knew you, Granddad. Good man. Blah blah blah.
I was I started to choke up a little bit, and they said he was alive, and I was like, oh, they gave him like an off-screen happy ending. That's great. And then Karen was like, no, they filmed something with him before he died. I was like, oh no, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna be
Because
anyway.
those final scenes of him and Wilfred, and he's so much more when he's fucking angry that he's dying.
Oh, God, yeah.
And Wilfred's just looking at him. Oh, my God. It's fucking riveting television. Oh. Anyway.
Back to video games. Week-old news. Next story in week-old news. There was a new Metroid NES to Super NES port. I think it was a new version that has like the Super Metroid map in it and stuff. And that's really cool. I can't say I totally understand this stuff. The NES ports to Super NES without really adding a whole lot of stuff. I know it's been explained to me before. I don't really get it. However, I did learn that the Kid Icarus one was done by our very own Rumbleminze, who's in our Discord. He did the NES to Super NES port of Kid Icarus. And I wish I understood it fully, but I still think that's extraordinarily cool.
It's super cool. Rumbleminze, excellent pad player, excellent snap player. Purchased a couple things from my daughters, so big fan. Love him.
Good stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah. He way better luck on Marvel Snap than me, by the way. I did open... because he and I, in the Snapchat, in the fucking Discord, talking about Snap, he opens every fucking new card every week, and has for the last like couple of months. It's got all the fucking new cards, right? And it like on the first or second try of each one. I have continued to open Spotlight caches, and I have yet to receive a new card. This week I am 0 for 1. Last week I was 0 for 2, so it is still September 14th. What's the last fucking new card I opened? And every week I get a fucking message from Rumbleminze. Like this week, it's a fucking shitty card that they put out. This card, Martyr, who's a fucking Marvel Comics character I don't even know, honestly. Like, or I know her, but like I don't know her. You know what I mean? I know what the character is, but I don't care. I don't know any of the backstory or anything like that. It's not even a card I wanted, and it's not a card Rumbleminze wanted either, and I got a message on fucking Tuesday when the store updated of, I didn't even want this card, and a picture of the fucking brand new card. Like, son of a bitch. One of these days, our fucking luck has to change, man. At some point.
Well, big fat congratulations to Rumbleminze for the Kid.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Release. That's super cool. It seems to be getting a little bit of press out there. That's wonderful. Good on you. All right, next up we have from Nintendo Life reporting everything announced at the Level 5 Vision 2023 November showcase. I think the big takeaway here is that a bunch of their stuff is being delayed. Not that this is necessarily a bad thing. I'm actually all for it as long as you're into making this stuff better, but like the new Layton game is 2025 now. Inazuma 11 I think got pushed back. Fantasy Life, but yeah, it's nice to see Level 5 taking this seriously. Deca Police was the other one. It's not going to be released in 2023. It should be sometime in 2024. I know this is a company that makes games that people love quite a bit, and then they kind of, I feel like they pulled back an awful lot, and now they seem to be making a big comeback. and that makes me real happy. You love to see it.
Yeah, for sure.
They're not necessarily my games. Professor Layton just makes me feel stupid, and a lot of their other stuff just doesn't appeal to me. But I get that they do have their fans, and their stuff looks really cool, and they seem to care a lot about it. So, hooray!
Yeah, they make really good fucking games.
Yeah, and you gotta love it when people make really fucking good games.
Yeah.
And last but not least, from Time Extension, quote, "My white whale has finally been slain. Samurai Shodown RPG translation is live." There's a fella, let's see, what is his name? Jeff Nussbaum has been working on doing an English translation of a Samurai Shodown RPG for a long time, and it is finally done and out there for the world to play. I didn't know if Samurai Shodown RPG existed. This looks cool as hell.
I didn't either until I saw this story earlier today, and I was like, all right, I mean, I will fucking get into that. I'll fuck with Samurai Shodown. Or Samurai Spirits, as it's known in Japan.
So let's see. According to Time Extension, initially announced in 1995 as a Neo Geo CD exclusive, when it launched 2 years later, it was also made available on PlayStation and Saturn. That's wild.
That is wild.
Never made it out of Japan.
And it also kind of calls into question, like, why has no other fighting game franchise tried to branch out and do that? Like, I know Mortal Kombat did some really fucking questionable shit with their characters, but like, an RPG makes kind of a lot of sense.
Holy shit, it makes too much sense. Like, every character has a set of special moves. Like, holy shit, it makes so much sense to have a turn-based RPG out of these characters like this. And it looks really great. I'm looking at all these characters, like, that's not Jenan. That's just a little lizard thing. But, like, Hanzo is here. Like, I think her name was Charlotte. Like, I'm terrible with names. But
yeah.
Good time.
The fencer.
Yeah. This is great.
Yeah,
this is
that's
very
Charlotte.
Cool. Congratulations to you on finally getting your English translation done. That's flippin' cool. And that is going to wrap us up for Week Old News. We're going to take ourselves a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Incredible Crisis for PlayStation 1 as part of the Alphabet Super Series. You are listening to Stone Age Gamer Podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around. Hi everyone, Kris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home. because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
All right, we're back. We're back and better than ever. It is time for the Alphabet Super Series. It's for the letter I. I chose Incredible Crisis for PlayStation 1, which is a game that I played back, and I think I discovered it when I worked at the Game Crazy in Union City.
Okay.
I saw the box art for this and was like, what in the hell is this? Well, let's try it out. And I plugged it in and I was like, well, this is amazing. I don't know if it's good, but it's amazing. And then I didn't really, I picked up the loose copy that we had in the store, and then I didn't really touch it again for a couple decades. And now here we are, and I put a little bit of time into it, and I have thoughts. What about you?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts. My number one thought while playing this game, because I played this way back in the day, and again, because like you said, because of the box art, it's just so absurd. And I remember being very, very frustrated by the fucking game, which was the same feeling I had playing, I did not finish this.
Oh God, me neither. 'Cause it's extraordinarily frustrating.
I got through the first two characters, the Taneo or Taneo, the dad, and then the mom with the fucking sneaking mission and flying an F-14, like all the shit that happened. The main thing that I kept coming back to while playing this game is that we have made so many advancements in controller technology that this game, or a game like this, the absurd situations that was actually really fun to control, would be amazing.
Yeah,
because
this has a lot of potential.
It's so it has all of the absurdity and the joy in the storytelling and the types of minigames that are available as like a WarioWare does. It's got that same level of ridiculous. However,
it's tied together with a narrative.
Controls, which I love. I think is awesome. I love the narrative bit that's in there. I think it's so fun. But the controls are just fucking dog shit. They're awful.
It's not only just the controls. It's like it's sometimes it's really hard to tell what exactly the game wants you to do. Like, I'll say, press up and down to move around this thing. Like, what do you mean? I don't understand what that means.
But
like,
I can't even see the thing. Like, there's a lot of trial and error in it.
Earlier on, it's like there's one where you're racing away from the giant
boulder
monument ball thing.
Yeah,
and it's like make sure you have enough energy drink. Like, press the A button to use the energy drink, and press up and down to move to dodge the obstacles. Like, but I'm running towards the screen, so pressing up and down isn't intuitive. And I thought that I could just use an energy drink when I needed it, like in every other game ever. But you have to be constantly drinking energy drinks to get through it. It's like it's so unintuitive, and it's like you're right there. You're so close to being. Because this is a genius concept. I love the concept of this game. Like, where it's a jack of all trades. Here's just a bunch of weird ass insanity. Like, you're answering trivia questions in the back of a hospital van, and then afterwards they pat you on the back and you fall out, and then you're doing a racing game on a fucking gurney, dodging motorcycles and roadblocks. Like, this game is absolutely nuts. But it's so cleverly tied together and really charming, and it's such a great idea to be able to do something, because none of the games are all that complicated, which is great.
No,
if you're going to do something like this, everything has to be really easy. It has to be intuitive, and that's where this game takes its big misstep. Is none of it is intuitive. But
no, it really isn't. And like the one that really frustrated me as I was playing through was in Tanio's first chapter, where you're out on the flagpole. That, I mean, come on, that flagpole should have fucking cut him in half. Jesus Christ. But fucking, so you're out on the flagpole, and the wind starts to blow you back and forth, and you're controlling. You have to push, like you have to lean against the wind. But you're doing it with the D-pad and not the analog sticks.
Oh, see, I wasn't even playing with a controller with analog sticks.
Right. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, this game that has these like movements and mini games and things that would work better with pressure sensitive triggers, which we have now, and analog sticks, which we have now, came out before we had those things.
Honestly,
so
on the flagpole, that part didn't bother me. It was the thing on the flagpole that bugged me was, again, how unintuitive it was. Like, it said,
that too.
Like, hold down the button to step forward. Like, so I held down the button and it just, and immediately, like, wait. Oh, so I have to let go of the button when it's in this specific color. Like, I needed to figure that out first. Like, that should have been in the damn instructions, because that's not what you said. You said hold down the button to, like, step forward. So, okay, so I'm holding down the button to step forward, but then if you don't land on the green, then you have to do the balancing thing. And honestly, I thought the balancing part was pretty fun, because it was just like, all right, how am I need to plan ahead to counterbalance what's going to happen, right? Because, like, I know I'm going to fall this way, so I'm going to press the right for this amount of time, but then before it makes it across, I'm going to mash left so that it counterbalances. And I got really good at that by the end of it. At the end of that segment, but it was the unintuitive nature of like, oh shit, I'm supposed to stop it at this point instead of just hold the button to move forward. That's the part that bothered me about the flagpole.
Yeah,
but I see what you're saying.
But
like,
that's what I'm saying.
How much
like,
more could be done with analog controls?
Well, like, and there's parts later where like, where you're the little boy and you're like scrabbling up this fucking like sandbank or whatever. And it like, I just imagine like the pressure sensitive triggers would have been better there. Or when you're the mom and you're sneaking through this area, you have to like hit the X button and you keep tapping the X button. Whereas, you know, like all the buttons on the PlayStation controller anyway, I think the Switch are the same, but it might not be. They're all pressure sensitive. So like if I'm really pushing down on the button, then like she's scooting along further. There's so much, like you said, potential here, because what is here is so absurd. It is absolute fucking madness of what you're doing. Like, I went up and I was explaining the game to Tiff, and she's like, all right, well, so like, tell me what this game's about. I'm like, all right, so you start off as this dude, and you're at your office job, and the first thing you have to do in the game is a fucking dance break. And you have to hit like up, down, left, or right, or the fucking face buttons. But the timing on the D-pad presses is different than the timing on the fucking button presses. But again, like, that's just kind of the problem there, right?
I didn't really find that to be the case. You were playing this on emulation, right?
Right, yeah.
I didn't find I played this on a PS1 on my CRT.
Okay.
So, I mean, I didn't notice any difference between the timing of the buttons or the D-pad.
It was
struck me. It struck me exactly like Parappa the Rapper, where everything had to be like ever so slightly later than you think it should be.
Right. Very specifically off.
Yeah.
But I was like, so you start off with a dance break, and then you run away from a boulder, and then you end up out on a flagpole. And then after the flagpole, you fall down and you're in an ambulance. And then you have to answer trivia questions. And then you're riding on a gurney. And then when you get done with the gurney, you meet this chick in a red dress who was also there when you were dancing in your office. And you go into a Ferris wheel. And then you have to find places to massage her. And you have to fill up her pleasure meter. And then after that, she leaves dynamite in the fucking car. And you get blown out. And then you're in a boat. And you're shoveling water out. And like I'm explaining, she's looking at me. And I'm like, I know, this is fucking absurd. And it's really fun in all of this, but it's also so fucking frustrating because there's just a better way to do this. And man, like, this is the type of game, I'm telling you, like, you throw a little bit of money behind it. It wouldn't even take a ton, but you just make it control a little bit better, update it a little bit. This fucking thing, it's super fun. Like, I'm really glad we played through it.
Yeah, me too. It's definitely not my favorite game in the world, but I think it's a really, 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 really interesting one. And it does have a ton of potential. It's also one of the, I think, more unique situations in that it's a Titus game that's not bad.
There's that, yeah.
I feel like Titus doesn't have a great track record.
They don't.
We do actually have some listener stuff on here. Trashman sent us something in the Super Series chat. He says, I had actually never heard of this game before. Is that a ska band in the opening credits? Oh, yes.
The fucking music,
the
too.
Fucking soundtrack is a ska band to the whole damn soundtrack.
It's so good.
So good, so good. All right, so are those aliens? This looks like it's going to be amazing, but oof, Incredible Crisis has been incredibly frustrating. Yeah, we hear you there. What I loved so far, the recurring globe, the ridiculous starter dance once you get it right, an alien ship that's got to be a game of Simon, and the fact that I think I pleasured a random woman on a Ferris wheel, but the way the game is designed
it's not your wife.
is to make you fail before you can succeed. It felt like for each new minigame you started, you're never given enough time to understand what obstacles thrown at you literally are going to connect, whilst attempting to memorize patterns or answer questions or something else ridiculous. So you fail once, twice, 3 times before you understand the obstacle timing, as well as the methodology of how to win the game you're in. Yeah, our thoughts exactly. Thematically, the game is great, but the whole time I'm playing it, I just get more anxious or frustrated. How long will it take the gauge to reach the green in this game? Am I pressing X fast enough or too fast? I didn't have enough time to read that trivia. I hope I don't get this wrong or I'll have to start over. Did I do that part right? I have no idea, and the game isn't clearly indicating me that I did. For me personally, it's one of those I want to love this, but the design is pushing me out titles. Yeah, you pretty much summed this game up, Trash Man.
Man, that fucking nailed it.
That's everything we've been saying. It is extremely frustrating. I do think that it makes up for it in character.
Personality.
Its personality is enough, I think, to make up for it, to stop it from being a genuinely bad game. But, I didn't finish it, and I'm probably not going to. I actually wound up watching most of the rest of this on a YouTube video. Like, after I got frustrated and quit, I was like, well, I just want to see what the rest of this game has, and it continues to be completely bonkers. I would love to see this be remade. It's never going to happen. I don't even know who owns this anymore. But, like, boy, this would be such a... Because, like, this is the era where that would have really caught on here in America as some sort of, like, weird eShop title. Like, that's what this is. And
this feels like a much more Wii U, Switch situation than a PlayStation situation at this point, to me.
At least in North America, right? Because this kind of shit happened in Japan a lot. I love that this game was quote unquote localized.
It kind of was.
You can at least understand it. It's written in English, but like, man, this is a Japanese video game for sure. And it's
this is
lovely.
Mr. Mosquito. This is Mad Maestro. This is that level of just absurdity.
Exactly. Good times.
Yeah. It's just fun, man. Like, ultimately, like, there is a lot of fun to be had. Especially, like, I think Trashman nailed it, of, like, if you go into this expecting to fail, like, and you're playing it with a couple people around, and you, like, lives or levels, and you're passing the controller around into whoever can get this. Like, I was playing, down here on the computer, and Katie came in and she was like, are you guys doing the pain in the ass-a-thon thing right now? And I was like, no, we probably fucking should be, though. This is a pain in the ass-a-thon game.
This game would have been great for the pain in the ass-a-thon. If we ever do that again,
maybe we will.
Oh, I hope so.
I could use some fucking money. I know, like, it was a different thing, but like 140 dogs, Chris.
It's a lot of dogs.
It's not cheap. Anyway,
what's up by weight?
Yes.
How many pounds of dog is that?
Oh, God. I mean, not as much as you would think, because, like, I don't know, my friend Elena adopted this one dog from us that, I mean, if that dog weighs 3 pounds, it's a lot, and she's heavy for her size. Like, she was a tiny little fucking thing. Anyway. Yeah, good pick.
Yeah. That about sums up my thoughts on Incredible Crisis. That was a good time.
It is available. Just looking at price charting, if you're curious as to the price of this thing and why it didn't make our starter kit, that is because a loose disc of this would be $30 fucking dollars. I don't think it's that fun.
Mm-hmm.
Complete in box, it's only $65 though for the North American version. In Europe, much cheaper, $7 for the loose disc and $27 complete in box. So that
I really want to complete my North American copy. Like, I have the disc. This is a game that I'd really like to have the box and manual for someday, and it's not that expensive. I'll get around to it, but I have other priorities, like teeth.
Right on. All
right, Dan, you're on to the letter J. What are we doing for J?
Oh, man.
Incredible Crisis?
Yes, 100%. I went through a couple games. For most of the month, it was going to be Jumping Flash. That was where I had settled, and I was like, well, let's do like we did Incredible Crisis. Let's stick with the PS1. A PS1 launch title that I'm not very familiar with. Let's do Jumping Flash. But then I started waffling on that. I don't really know why I started waffling on that, but waffle I did. So then I started thinking, well, what are some other games that I would like to try? And I landed on 2 that I still didn't go with, but I was waffling for a little bit between Jet Force Gemini, because I know that's coming to Switch Online at some point.
Easy to play.
Right, so that would have been easy to play.
Days.
Yeah, within the next couple of days, right? So I was like, maybe Jet Force Gemini. But I checked out a couple reviews, and the reason that I cut that one was the review that I saw. If you have a Japanese NSO account, you can play it currently. You can play. Apparently, it's very, very difficult to play without an N64 controller for the Switch. That is not something I am going to do. I'm not going to buy one. So I was like, all right, that's off.
I'm maybe not particularly fond of that game anyway. I played some of it when it came out, and I stopped because I didn't think it was very fun.
Right. So, cut that one. Then I thought for a little bit, Journey from Darkness, Strider Returns. Maybe. But I felt like that was kind of a cheat because it's just Strider 2. Like, I feel like that was more... I know the game is called Journey from Darkness, Strider Returns, but it feels like that should go under S because it's Strider 2.
Yeah, it's Strider Returns, Journey to Darkness. That's where I file it. It goes in Strider.
I mean, on the fucking title screen, Journey from Darkness is first. Whatever. So I was like, fuck it, I don't want to have this ethical conversation with Kris tonight because I know I knew we would disagree about it.
I'd let it slide. I would let it slide because I
know you would have, but...
It's like Zoda's Revenge on NES. It's Star Tropics 2. It's not Zoda's Revenge, Star Tropics 2. It's Star Tropics 2, Zoda's Revenge, goddammit. But that's not what the box says. Whatever.
Right. So, but I didn't want, you already let me slide with a hat in time. So I went with a game that I have always been intrigued by, but have never spent any time with. And from what I understand, getting used to the camera makes the rest of it worth it. And I don't know that is going to be the case for us or for the listeners, but for the letter J, I did stick with the PlayStation. We will be playing Jersey Devil.
Oh, fuck. All right.
And I'm actually, really excited about it. It is a game that in subsequent years has gotten more and more no, actually, this is pretty fucking cool. This is a pretty good fucking game.
God,
when it came out,
this game.
Yeah. When it came out, it was I don't know. This isn't so great. But as time, like, this is one of those games that pops up on the, like, think you've played every cool PlayStation game? Here's something you might have missed.
Oh,
right,
fuck,
here's a
expensive.
hidden gem. It is expensive. It's not as expensive as I thought it would be. All right, it's $45 complete in box. $35 for a loose disc, though.
That's not what I'm seeing.
Are you on? I'm on price charting.
I'm on fucking eBay. I can't find any listings for less than $75.
Well, fuck that.
Here's one for $40 with no manual and just the back case.
Do not fucking spend $40 on it. Just shmemulate it and be fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I was like, this is one of those games like we used to have in my Funko land that nobody really wanted. We'd get like returns on that and stuff.
Well, like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, and GameSpot a 5.2 out of 10, IGN a 5 out of 10, Game Informer 6 out of 10. Like it has these scores, but then Consoles Plus 89%. If you go on Reddit and like not critic reviews, but like people who have played the game, like as a fan of video games, are like, no, this is actually pretty fucking dope. So we'll find out.
We will find out. We shall.
I'm pretty excited about it. Plus,
Jersey Devil,
New Jersey, perfect for Christmas.
Nailed it. Happy holidays. All right, Jersey Devil for PlayStation. It's don't buy it physically. It's expensive. That's more.
There's not a lot of good choices for Jay, Kris.
You could have picked Journey to Silius.
But we've already played that for the fucking summer series.
Oh, we did? I remember playing it. I couldn't remember what we played it for.
Yeah, it was for the summer series. I didn't think we should repeat it for the super series. That's why that was the first game that I thought of.
Let's see. Jay. I'm not picking a different game. I'm just curious. What do I have in J? What do I have in J that jumps out at me?
Do you have Jumping Flash?
I don't know. I was really excited about Jumping Flash. I've definitely that's one that's been on my list of things to do for a long time. I mean, Jack Brothers for Virtual Boy.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been easy for everybody to do.
No, honestly, the game I would have picked was James Pond. Like, no question.
Well, no, I know it is, but next year you'll get to fucking pick James Pond.
James Pond. Jaws for NES. I'm always into that one. The original Jet
but we've played that, you know.
The original Jet Moto.
Oh God, I actually played that this week. It got added to the PlayStation Plus.
Really?
Fucking like a week or two ago. It's not a good game. It's not fun.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Jet Moto 2 is cool, but
there you go, Jet Moto 2.
But it might not be
Sega Genesis. Joe and Mac, Journey Escape.
No, you're not.
Judge Dredd.
No,
Genesis.
See, this is what I'm saying.
Jungle Strike. Any of the Jurassic Park games.
There's a lot of John Madden football I could have gone with.
Yeah. There's a lot of Atari
I don't
stuff.
know.
Like Jungle Hunt's a great game, but I didn't really spend a whole lot of time talking about it. Same with
that's a 2-minute conversation. You play Jungle Hunt? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Next,
fucking great. I could talk about Jungle Hunt for at least 5 minutes.
Probably, but haven't we already? Like this is something that'll at least be new.
God, I love Jungle Hunt. Jungle Hunt's such a great game.
It is a great game.
That dude on the front of the box always looks so weird to me. He looks like Geraldo on crack or something. It's out of his mind. His eyes are all bugging out, and like the alligators are all looking like they're going to eat him, and the super offensive cannibals. Like,
yeah, they are super offensive. We could have done the fucking TurboGrafx 16 Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu, or JJ and Jeff. Or Jack Nicholas Turbo Golf.
Oh, there's supposed to be a really good Jackie Chan game on NES, too. I can't remember what it was called.
Is it
Jackie Chan Adventures, maybe?
Hold on, I'm looking through my my thing here. Let me get down to J. I thought... actually, I was looking today, too, at the Jetsons game. because I thought that was pretty good. It's not good. It's just expensive.
Oh, it was Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu. It was also on NES.
Oh, okay.
I guess I didn't realize it was the same game on TurboGrafx. You had choices, sir. But all right, Jersey Devil it is. I'll give Jersey Devil a go.
I did. You want me to spoil what K is going to be? Or what it should be? I wish I had K. I was looking through my games and I was like, fuck, I want it to be Kabuki
What should
Quantum
I
Fighter.
pick? Kabuki Quantum Fighter? I feel like we talked about that one on the show.
We might have. We definitely did Karnov.
We did. Guess what we're not doing this time? Fucking Karnov.
Nope,
Did
we're
not
doing
care
Kiwi
for that
Craze.
game in the least. Oh, that's not a bad call.
I know it's not. But Kabuki. We got time.
There's a lot of good K choices. I mean, like, obviously Knuckles Chaotix.
A lot is maybe maybe a bit of a stretch.
Oh, no. There's a ton of great Kirby games we could talk about. Like, you kidding me? I'm going to make you play some fucking Kirby.
Oh, I don't want to.
Well, you're gonna.
That's fine. It's all right.
I mean, we've talked enough about Kid Icarus. I don't think I can pull off Kid Icarus.
No.
Could talk about how bad Kether is on CDI. That'd be a good time.
I will tell. I do know what we're playing for L, because I don't believe you've ever played through it, and nobody's going to buy it because we're going to play Little Samson. So I'm going to spoil that one now. But
I have played through that, actually. It's great.
Oh, you have? All right, never mind.
Yeah.
I'll take it off the table then. I didn't think you had.
Yeah, I did. On your recommendation, actually, I spent a little more time with it, and it's like,
that's fucking great.
I can't remember if I actually beat it or if I just got really far, but I feel like I finished it. Yeah,
that's a really good game. All right.
Oh,
anyway, so Jersey Devil.
Chojin.
Oh, there you go.
There's a winner. Terrible fucking game. All right, yeah. Jersey Devil PlayStation, and that's it. That's our show. Thank you for listening. Join us next week when we're going to be assembling our holiday gift guides for the shopper who doesn't mind waiting for the last goddamn minute. We're on most social.
Yeah, should have been this week, probably.
Should have been this week. Would have made a lot more sense. What are we going to do?
Well.
We're not great at planning. We're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows on the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also link to in the show notes. And it just occurred to me, I think I want bagels for breakfast this week. I'm really in the mood for bagels.
I think you should have them.
I feel like bagels is where my heart lies.
Yeah, no.
I could eat a bagel right the fuck now. Anyway, it helps keep the show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated, just like bagels. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by banjo guy Ali. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the links to his YouTube channel. Also in the show notes, I keep thinking about scallion cream cheese. I don't know what that's about. Just, I really want a bagel with scallion cream cheese right now. And it's like 11:45. It's not going to happen, but damn. Anyway, and finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making the show listenable for all you folks. And we'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.